Welcome to Mindful Objective, the podcast where we explore the root causes of modern health concerns and uncover practical solutions from an integrative perspective. I'm your host, Dr. Daniel Sproul, integrative health practitioner and professor. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about and still evolving areas of integrative health. That is gut health. We've known for years that the digestive system impacts more than just nutrient absorption, but the research into the gut brain connection, microbiome diversity, and personalized probiotic strategy is growing faster than ever. The state of your gut microbiome can influence nearly every aspect of your health. And with advances in functional lab testing, microbiome mapping, and targeted nutritional support, we now have more tools than ever to personalize gut health strategies. As always, this podcast for educational purposes only. It's not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. Let's explore where gut health science is heading and how you can use it to your advantage. So for many years, digestive health is viewed as an isolated issue, something people only thought that when they had obvious discomfort, such as bloating, constipation, diarrhea, and even heartburn. But in the last decade, especially in the past few years, gut health has emerged as a central pillar of overall wellness and integrative health. The digestive system is not just a nutrient processing machine, it's a complex network that influences your immune system, hormone balance, mental clarity, and even your energy levels. One reason gut health has captured so much attention is the gut-brain axis, the two-way communication pathway between the digestive system and your brain. This connection runs through the vagus nerve, immune signaling, and biomechanical messengers like short-chain fatty acids and neurotransmitters. In fact, a significant portion of serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter linked to mood and emotional stability, it is produced in your gut. This means that imbalances in gut bacteria can potentially affect not only digestion, but also stress response, focus, and emotional resilience. Ayurveda, which is another thing I'm certified in, has recognized this connection for thousands of years. In that system, weak digestion was believed to compromise not only physical health, but also mental clarity and immune strength. Modern science is now validating these traditional ideas through microbiome research and other studies. One of the most significant advancements in recent years is our ability to measure what's happening inside the gut with functional lab testing. That's why functional lab tests are so important. For example, comprehensive stool analysis can provide detailed information on your microbiome diversity and balance, beneficial versus opportunistic bacterial population, inflammatory markers, short-chain fatty acids which nourish the gut lining, digestive enzyme output and pancreatic function, signs of yeast or parasitic organisms. These tests gives us a starting point for personalized gut protocols. For example, a client with low microbiome diversity may benefit from gradually increasing fiber variety, adding fermented foods, and using multi-strain probiotic tailored to their needs. Someone with elevated calprotectin, which is a marker of gut inflammation, might focus on soothing nutrients like L-glutamine, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids, alongside dietary adjustments to reduce inflammatory triggers. Another one would be a person with low enzyme output could be supported with digestive enzymes and mindful eating practices to improve nutrient breakdown. Supplements are often a part of the plan, but in an integrative approach, they're selected based on an individual's lab findings, not used generically to fix everybody else out there. It's specific to that individual. Common supportive categories may include probiotics matched to specific bacterial needs, prebiotics, digestive enzymes to assist break down food efficiently, herbal blends like ginger, fennel, peppermint. This will help with digestive comfort. Other things such as turmeric for antioxidant, inflammatory balance, and support. Gut health also connects directly to immune resilience. About 70% of the immune system resides in the gut. An imbalance in gut can send constant stress signals to the immune system. We see that a lot. It leaves you overactive and under-responsive. Functional testing allows us to track these patterns and adjust nutritional support, probiotics, lifestyle strategies to help you maintain balance. Remember, gut health impacts hormone regulation also. The microbiome plays a role in metabolizing and recycling hormones like estrogen, cortisol, thyroid hormones. An imbalanced microbiome, sometimes referred as dysbiosis, this can contribute to hormone-related symptoms. This is another area where lab-guided personalized support can make measurable differences over time. It's not always jump on hormone replacement therapy. Maybe the issue is your gut, your nutrient depletion. The bottom line is that your gut health isn't a passing trend. It's the foundation of integrative wellness. By combining traditional wisdom, functional lab testing, and personalized supplementations, we can help you support the digestion in ways that influence nearly every system in the body. And because gut health is dynamic, not static, the ability to track changes and adjust protocols is key to long-term results. Now let's talk about how your microbiome shapes your mood, focus, and stress levels. The gut brain connection has become one of the most fascinating and well researched areas in integrative health over the past decade. Science has confirmed that the gut and brain are in a constant conversation with each other, influencing everything from mood, focus, to stress resilience. The communication takes place in multiple pathways. One would be the vagus nerve, which acts like a direct phone line between your gut and your brain. Another one would be your immune system, which responds to chemical signals from gut bacteria. Another one would be metabolites processed by microbes, such as short chain fatty acids, which can influence inflammation and neurotransmitter production. In fact, researchers now estimate that over 90% of the body's serotonin, again, that's a neurotransmitter linked to feelings of well being, it's produced in a digestive tract. The gut also influences dopamine, GABA, and other brain chemicals that help regulate mood and cognitive performance. When microbiome is balanced, these signals support mental clarity, stable mood, and healthy stress response. But when that gut is out of balance, which is called again dysbiosis, communications can be disrupted, sometimes contribute to brain fog, mood fluctuations, anxiety, low motivation. From an Ayurvedic perspective, I've seen this firsthand. This connection isn't surprising. Ayurveda has emphasized that mental and emotional health begins with balanced digestion. If digestion is weak or regular, it's believed to create a toxic buildup, which can cloud the mind and reduce vitality. While the terminology differs, a core idea, what modern research shows, gut imbalance can impact brain function. Functional labs gives us those tools to measure the state of your gut-brain connection. Comprehensive stool testing, again, could reveal low levels of beneficial bacteria linked to serotonin production, excessive growth of certain species that produce inflammatory compounds, reduce short-chain fatty acids which nourish your gut lining and influence brain chemistry. And then we have other labs out there that help us connect the dots. One would be organic acid tests. We always talk about this one. It can detect imbalances in neurotransmitter metabolites. Cortisol rhythm testing, this can show chronic stress impacts the HPA axis. Using this information, we create personalized protocols that address both gut and brain function. Again, it's individualized per person. What's good for you may not be good for the other person. So always remember that. Don't blindly use protocols. Use protocols that are specific to you. And again, don't guess, test. Increasing fiber variety and adding targeted prebiotics to feed bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids. These are examples of these protocols. We also support the gut lining. Sometimes we use L-glutamine, zinc, collagen peptides to reduce leaky gut stress signals. We incorporate stress reduction practices like breath work, yoga, meditation. These have all been shown to influence both gut motility and microbiome diversity. Supplements can be a valuable part of the process. They're not used in isolation. They work best when combined with dietary strategies, lifestyle habits, lab-guided adjustments. Some of the most common supportive options for gut-brain protocol include, again, probiotics, prebiotics, adaptogens like ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is great and it will help with regulate stress response when cortisol rhythm is imbalanced. Another one we always harp on is omega-3 fatty acids. These are used for supporting healthy inflammation balance, which benefits both the brain and gut. Your brain needs those fats. We use this to ensure consistent quality and make it affordable. This is important because microbiome changes take time, often 3 to 6 months, to become more noticeable and measurable in follow-up labs. The gut-brain connection is more than a trending healthy topic. It's a fundamental piece of how we function day to day. Whether your goal is to improve focus, feel emotionally balanced, or handle stress better, supporting your gut health is often one of the most effective starting points. And thanks to functional testing, we can now track those changes, making your health journey both personalized and measurable. Now let's talk about personalized probiotics, prebiotics, and microbiome-focused diets. So one of the most exciting developments in gut health over the last few years have been moving away from that one-size-fits-all approach, right? While probiotics have been popular for decades, we know now that different bacterial strains have different roles. And taking the wrong one for your situation may not deliver the results you expect. Again, don't just blindly take supplements. Are they specific to you? And how do you know they're working for you or made for you or needed based on testing? If you don't do testing, you blindly take stuff, again, you may be taking the wrong one. Probiotics are live microorganisms that offer healthy benefits when consumed in adequate amounts. But not all probiotics are created equal. For example, Lactobacillus has been studied for its potential support in mood and stress resilience. Bifidobacteria may help maintain immune health and digestive regularity. Saccharomyces boulardii is actually beneficial yeast, often used in protocols to support gut balance during or after antibiotics. Functional stool testing can reveal which bacterial families are low, which are overrepresented, and which diversity may need improvement. Based on these findings, we can select probiotics which strains most likely to support your unique needs. Prebiotics, these are fibers that feed beneficial bacteria, and these are equally important. Without the right food sources, even with the best probiotic strains, they may not thrive. Prebiotics can be found in foods like onions, garlic, asparagus, bananas, as well as supplemental forms. Functional testing can also measure short chain fatty acids. These are produced in the gut bacteria. Low short chain fatty acids may indicate the need for more dietary fiber, varieties, or supplemental prebiotics. So, beyond supplements, microbiome focused diets are gaining traction also. While there's no single perfect gut health diet, certain principles tend to apply. 1. Diversity matters. Eating a wide range of plants support microbial diversity, which is linked to resilience. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and yogurt can provide beneficial microbiomes, but it's not for everybody. Other polyphenol-rich foods, berries, green tea, dark chocolate, contain compounds that nourish beneficial bacteria. Avoid over-restriction. Overly limiting diets can reduce microbiome diversity if not carefully balanced. I really restricted my diet to where when I started to eat, I started with so many other gut issues. So it's one of those things you have to slowly introduce things and have a big variety in your diet. I understand for those clients out there that struggle because histamine intolerance or migraines or bloating and they're afraid to eat anything. Food sensitivity test, organic acid test. Let's get you started. Let's get you on the right path. Let's understand what's taking place and let's get you on the proper nutrition plan, the proper supplemental plan, and you could definitely improve. Just give it time. One is a personalized gut health plan might look like this. Use functional labs to identify microbiome imbalances, gut inflammation, or low short-chain fatty acids. Introduce a targeted probiotic formula based on those results. Add prebiotics either through food or supplements to feed that right bacteria. Then what do we want to do? We want to adjust the diet to include broad spectrum of plant-based foods and fermented items. And then we always retest after 3 to 6 months to measure changes and adjust accordingly. If you're still having issues, we have the option. Let's retest. Maybe we need to tweak it a bit. But we do have clients out there too that just like to see numbers, and regardless, they test every 3 to 6 months. Just, hey, let's run it again. I'm making changes. I want to make sure I'm doing things correctly and my body's adjusting to this. Let's rerun that test. The key takeaway is what works for one person may not work for another. And that's exactly why functional lab testing is so valuable. Instead of guessing, we can target support with precision. We monitor progress and we make adjustments as needed. It's individualized. That's why you have to make these adjustments. But by combining personalized probiotics, strategic prebiotics, and microbiome-focused dietary changes, you can create an environment where the gut, its beneficial bacteria thrive, supporting digestion, immune function, and even mood regulation. Now, let's talk about another one where we hear a lot about gut inflammation, leaky gut, and how we track that healing. When people do hear about gut issues, they often think of gas, bloating, or irregularity, which we did a podcast on. But beneath those surface level symptoms, much deeper process may be at play: gut inflammation. The inflammation can be localized into the digestive tract or contribute to body-wide stress, affecting the immune system, hormones, and even your mental health. One of the most common patterns seen in functional lab testing is elevated calprotectin, a marker of inflammation in the intestinal lining. This can be triggered by imbalance in gut bacteria, overgrowth of yeast, certain food sensitivities, or environmental stressors like toxins or chronic stress. Left unchecked, ongoing gut inflammation can contribute to intestinal permeability, or often we refer to this as leaky gut. Leaky gut occurs when tight junctions in the intestinal lining become more permeable, allowing food particles, toxins, and microbial byproducts to pass right into the bloodstream. This can trigger immune responses and add to systemic inflammation. From an Ayurvedic perspective, this could be described as accumulation or a buildup of undigested material that disrupts both physical and mental balance. The good news is, with targeted step-by-step plan, gut inflammation and permeability can often be improved. Functional testing still plays a critical role in guiding that process. Comprehensive stool test, right? This will measure it. Another one be Organic acid test. Again, it may reveal downstream effects of inflammation, such as oxidative stress or imbalances in neurotransmitter metabolites. Once we know the extent of inflammation and likely drivers, we can address it using an integrative approach. While no single protocol works for everyone, many clients benefit from sometimes the 4R approach. The 4Rs would be number one would be remove, identify and reduce triggers such as problematic foods or microbiome imbalances. Number two, replace, support digestion with enzymes or stomach acid support if needed. Number three, reinoculate, add beneficial probiotics and prebiotics to restore balance. Number four, repair, nourish the gut lining with nutrients like L-glutamine, zinc, and collagen peptides. Supplements in this phase are chosen to support healthy gut function, not to treat disease. Common supportive options include L-glutamine. This is amino acid that serves as fuel for intestinal cells. Zinc, known for its gut lining support properties. Collagen peptides provide building blocks for tissue repair. Aloe vera, often soothing, support your digestive tract. Turmeric, curcumin. This provides antioxidants and inflammatory balance support. Again, sometimes things take 3 to 6 months for your body to heal. Things take time. So lifestyle adjustments can be powerful right here. For example, eating in a relaxed state can reduce stress signals to the gut, improving digestion. Gentle movement like walking after meals can help with motility. We talk all the time about walking. Get out and walk, especially after you're done eating. Another thing, prioritize sleep. Sleep supports the repair process that happen overnight, something both modern science and Ayurveda has always agreed on. We also retest at strategic intervals to measure progress. A follow-up stool test might show reduction in certain bacteria, improved bacteria balance, and higher levels of short-chain fatty acids. All signs that the gut environment is moving towards stability. Clients often notice that digestive symptoms improve first, followed by better energy, clearer thinking, and resilient mood. The reality is the gut inflammation can influence much more than digestion. It can ripple through every major system in the body. That's why tracking it through functional labs use a targeted nutritional support, and making constant, consistent lifestyle shifts is so important. Now let's talk about building and maintaining a healthy gut long term. Again, that's why we're in this, right? Not short-term goals, long-term goals. Yes, we want to have those short-term achievements, but long-term, we want to have these long-term goals. What do we plan and what do we want to achieve? How do we get there? That's what we're here to do. One of the most important things to understand about gut health is that it's dynamic. The microbiome, the trillions of bacteria, fungi, and other microbes living in the digestive system, it's constantly shifting in response to your diet, stress levels, sleep quality, medications, environment, and your lifestyle habits. This means your gut health isn't something you fix once and then you never think about it again. Instead, it's something you maintain over a long term, much like you would physical fitness or financial stability. A sustainable gut health plan starts with personalized assessment, functional lab testing such as comprehensive stool test. This, again, provide that snapshot of your microbiome diversity, inflammation markers, digestive function, and immune activity in your gut. The initial baseline helps us create a targeted plan rather than guessing. Now, do we have the option to just, hey, you know what, you're having these symptoms, take these supplements, see if we can rebalance the body? Yes, you have that option. Will it take longer? For sure it's going to take longer. Are we right on target, what we're trying to achieve? We do not know. At that point, we might be guessing. So that's where we want to go back to that lab testing. Sometimes it's worth coming up with the money up front, having things on paper to understand what we're looking at, and going from there. Once we have a plan in place, the focus usually includes daily dietary diversity. So again, eating a variety of plant foods, including vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts, seeds, and herbs. This supports microbial diversity. This doesn't have to be complicated. Even small changes like rotating vegetables each week can make a difference. Another one would be regular intake of fermented foods. If tolerable, again, depends on the person. Foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and yogurt help maintain that beneficial bacteria. Another one would be adequate prebiotic fiber. Feeding beneficial microbes is just as important as introducing them. This can be done through foods like garlic, onions, asparagus, bananas, and through targeted prebiotic supplements. Stress management. Chronic stress can alter gut motility and microbiome balance. So again, practice mindful meditation, deep breathing, yoga, even short outdoor walks make a huge difference. And this one's really tough for a lot of people is consistent sleep schedule. Poor sleep can disrupt circadian rhythms in the gut microbiome, so prioritizing quality rest is essential. It's sometimes hard to put down your cell phone. Use it for work, use it for everyday stuff. At this point in time, it's hard for any of us to live without our cell phone, right? I use my cell phone for a lot of tracking supplements, tracking my food, talking to other people, doing research. We use our phone for everything, the weather. It just never stops. At what point do we put our phone down an hour before we go to bed, which is very hard to do, but it's needed. For those that like to do their own protocols, they do not want a consultation, they already know what they want to order. Feel free to check out our self-ordering protocols via mindfulobjective.com/shop/protocols. Again, you could just go to Mindful Objective, click on shop, click on protocols. You can check out our functional medicine detox, heavy metal detox, mold detox, weight management, and other protocols. These protocols are specific to us teaming up with Equilife to have these custom protocols out there. They're easy. If you decide you want to do your own protocol, you don't want to go through testing, you just want to do a functional medicine detox, you just want to do a heavy metal detox, you have heavy metals or you're concerned you want to do this detox, you're free to do that. So again, mindfulobjective.com, click on shop, go to protocols. Feel free to go through those protocols, order as you please. If for some reason you go through the whole protocol, such as do a Candida protocol, for example, and that's 3 months. Say you do that and you still need testing, you want that, or it's not working for you, at that time you can reach out. Or prior to that, you want to go through this testing and you may need one of those detox protocols or weight management protocols, GLP products. They are out there. We'll guide you in the right process. Again, supplements can play a supporting role, especially during times of higher stress, dietary changes, or after illness or antibiotic use. These help with occasional digestive discomfort. It's important to note that supplements are not intended to treat or cure disease, but rather to support healthy digestive function and microbiome balance. Feel free to use that 20% discount we have in our practice. You do not have to be a client, but you do have to sign up to receive our discount. Long-term gut health maintenance also means periodic check-ins. Just like you wouldn't expect to maintain physical strength without continuing to exercise, the gut microbiome benefits from ongoing attention. This doesn't mean constant testing, but rather retesting at appropriate intervals, often every 6 to 12 months. And you want to do this just to make sure your strategies are working and adjust as needed. For example, a follow-up stool test might reveal that microbiome diversity has improved, but certain beneficial strains are still low. In that case, we might shift probiotic strains, increase prebiotic intake, and add more polyphenol-rich foods, such as, like we said, berries. And we use this to encourage their growth. Conversely, if inflammation markers rise again, we might revisit potential dietary triggers, stress factors, environmental exposures. Ayurveda adds another layer to the process. By observing your constitution and seasonal influences, we can make timely adjustments that align with your natural rhythms. For example, lighter foods and cooling herbs in the summer, more grounding foods in autumn, warming spices later in the winter. The key to success is gut health is consistency. Again, not perfection. You don't have to overhaul everything at once. Instead, small, steady changes that are backed by both ancient wisdom and modern lab data can lead to lasting improvements. And because your gut affects so many areas from immune resilience to mood to metabolism, these changes often ripple through your whole well-being. By using a combination of functional testing, targeted supplementation, diet strategies, lifestyle shifts, your gut becomes something you can actively manage rather than leaving it to chance, right? That's what makes it such a powerful ongoing investment in your health. Okay, now let's go ahead and wrap up this episode of Mindful Objective. Know that if you'd like to explore your own gut health in depth, we do offer that comprehensive functional lab testing, professional grade supplements at 20% off retail pricing. You can learn more about that at mindfulobjective.com. As always, this show's for educational purposes only. It's not intended to replace medical care, diagnose any condition, or serve as individualized health advice. Always consult your licensed healthcare provider before making any health decisions. Reminder, free shopping lists and other free resources are available at mindfulobjective.com/resources. Again, you can go to mindfulobjective.com, click on resources, download the different shopping food lists, different dietary lists. What's a dairy product, right? There's a list out there for that. Healthy shopping list, there's a list for that. There's many free resources on there and it's continuing. We'll build that out. But again, if we could help people for free, that's one of our goals too. As always, stay well.